What's going on, guys? Today we're looking at some money here real quick. I just got a nice Christmas gift from Jonathan. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Really appreciate that. He likes to collect a couple little coins and stuff here and there, and he had this old $20 bill that he had gifted me for Christmas, which I just got in the mail. I just put a huge smile on my face. I love old money, all kinds. I mean, I like coins, but I really, really like old currency, like American bills specifically. But that is an entire hobby on its own that could be extremely expensive. So I try to stay away from that for the most part. I just focus on coins, like specifically gold and silver coins, or silver coins mostly. But anyway, I want to do a quick video here for the people who don't know this. A lot of you guys do know this, especially if you're older, but maybe you're a younger viewer and you never even knew this before. You're like, wow, that's crazy, right? So I grabbed a new 20 to compare with our old 20 here. So this one is... Let's zoom in for you. This is part of the 1928B series of bills. Alright, so just a quick note from Wikipedia. You can see the series of 1928B were on $5, $10, and $20 notes. The series 1928A was for the $50 and $100 bills. And the series of 1928 for the large denominations, okay, reflected a change in the Federal Reserve seal to contain a letter instead of a number. The four corner numbers were aligned vertically as well, causing a shift in plate position letters on certain denominations. That's fascinating to someone who collects bills, boring to someone who doesn't. So but I felt like reading anyway for you. What I really want to focus on here is one specific thing that just, it really amazes me on how much our country's changed. And most people watching this video, if not all these people watching the video, have never actually experienced this. Anyway, just wanted to compare the old one to the new one. There's one thing specifically I want to make a point in this video, and that is when the government used to promise us that we can exchange these promises, because that's all this is. This is a promise to the American government that this is worth something. But we could have had the option to change this in at the bank for real money, which some of you know is gold and silver. So if you look at the old bill here, let's see what it says. Right up top here. It says, redeemable in gold on demand at the United States Treasury or in gold or lawful money at any Federal Reserve Bank. So what that means is that in 1928, you could take this bill and you can go down to your federal bank and you could say, I'd like to get gold for this, please. And if I'm not mistaken, in 1928, gold value for 1 troy ounce, a 1 ounce gold coin, would have been about $20 and change. Let's say 20, I don't know, 70 or something, whatever it is. Let's just say 21, let's round up. So you give them this bill and perhaps a $1 bill, and they would give you a 1 ounce gold coin. All right, so let's go back a little further in history when this country was first created, right? Now we have America, this brand new country. Do you know what our money was? It was gold and it was silver. That's our money. Now, we actually used other people's currency as well. I'm not going to get into the details of that, but we did accept, I think, Spanish reals and things of that nature in our society because we didn't really create our own yet. But the point is that all money, all stuff that you would trade for other stuff was gold or silver of some kind, right? And in the very early years, we still used, when we started making our own coins and stuff, we had real gold and real silver. So it had actual value that the entire world agreed was value. And at some point, someone had the idea like, hey, let's go ahead and, you know, exchanging the gold and silver, it's kind of a pain, and now gold is worth more and silver is worth more. So let's just do this. Let's make our own money, and this will be our own system. But don't worry. We're going to take your gold. We're going to give you these fake pieces of paper or fabric, whatever. But we're going to promise that at any point in time, because they had to buy the American people, right? They had to buy our trust. They had to get us to believe this and go with it so we wouldn't revolt. They said, listen, we're going to give you this piece of paper, but anytime you want, you can exchange this for gold and silver, right? This is just easier. We're going to make this new thing called a wallet, and you're going to put it in your pocket, right? And your kids are going to get you a new one on Father's Day, and that's it. So there's paper now, just paper. It made the whole thing easier. It made it so the government could make money. But it had to be backed by something, right? It couldn't just come out of thin air. So they said, listen, we're going to give you this, but we're going to keep your $20 worth of gold in a bank. Now, you can take it back at any time, we promise. But we're going to hold it there. So you still have real money, but this is easier to just trade back and forth and all that kind of stuff, right? They did that for a long time. And originally, the promise was right there on the bill. You could trade it for gold and silver. And at some point, you couldn't. That's it. They said, hey, listen, we got your trust. You're used to using the paper and stuff like that. Now, if you want to bring it to get gold, well, you can't. Sorry, we're not giving out gold and silver anymore. You're just going to have to use the paper from now on. And this may change again. You might be old enough, or young enough, rather, to see the day where they say, you know what, remember that paper stuff we used to use? We're not using that anymore. Now, we're just going to use a cryptocurrency. So now, because everyone has phones, just go ahead and go to this website and beep, boop, bop, boop, boop, push that button, and that's money now, right? Or, hey, take your phone and just wave it at the store. That's your money. That's how we do it now. We're getting rid of the paper. So it's a progression. So stuff like this is just super cool to me. It's like, it's amazing to think that this money, which looks kind of like this money, it's made a couple changes, but they look similar enough. You could take this to the bank, and they give you a gold, shiny gold coin for it. You say, listen, I'm not into it. I don't trust it. Give me some gold back. And that's it. But now, they're definitely not doing that. You go to the bank and ask for gold. Well, obviously they don't have any gold. You'd probably confuse them quite a bit and, maybe be asked to leave. But eventually, this stuff that everyone watching the video knows. You know this stuff. Even if you're young and you don't really use this much, you know what it is, right? This may go away as well. And it could just be all digital. Like, this was already fake, but it was fake they had to physically make. Now it'll just be fake money on a computer. They don't even have to print it anymore. They're going to make it so fast and so easy, right? Because you're going to need it, because when hyperinflation kicks in, you're going to need a lot of it. It's not practical to carry around, 800 of these pieces of paper to buy your loaf of bread. You're going to need it all digital at that point. But anyway, not to be all doom and gloom, who knows? Maybe we have a wonderful future ahead of us. Maybe, I don't know. I won't live long enough to see it, and that's okay. But the focus of the video is not that. It is, of course, the old bill, which is just super cool. It's a piece of our history. I mean, to me, it's amazing to think, like, how many hands did this touch? Who touched this? When? Where was this around the world? It's so old, so many people just handled it. It's amazing. Or maybe at some point, maybe back in, 1947, someone just stuck it in a book. And then someone found it last year. And then gave it to that person, and gave it to that person, or sold it to this person. And, now it made its way to me. And eventually it'll make its way to someone else, But it's just super, super cool. I love stuff like this. It gets me excited. I dig it. And you can still find, occasionally at your bank, a bill like this. And you can get it for $20, even though people will pay extra money for it online. It has a premium. It's a collectible at this point. But you might get lucky. Mostly you might, you're probably more often seeing bills from the 70s and 80s and 90s. That's kind of a cool thing to find at your bank. It'll be less likely to find something like this, because something this old, either the banker or someone else will take it out of circulation quicker. But it's not impossible. It's still, it's not ridiculous to think you might be able to find one sometime. Or you can go your entire lifetime and never see one at the bank. It depends on how often you go to the bank, I suppose. But if you're bill hunting like I am, or at least used to do, your chances are much higher, obviously. But anyway, that's all I just want to share with you guys. I know most of you know, you get it, this whole story. But for younger people, that's what it was. Our money used to mean something, right? If you go really way back in time, we didn't even have money. We bartered, right? When humans first got started, it's just cavemen. And guess what? I got a big hunk of, bear meat. And that guy over there has a little hunk of bear meat. So the lady cave woman goes with the guy with the big hunk of bear meat, because he has more, right? That really hasn't changed too much, depending on what kind of lady that is. And so then the big guy goes, you know what? The guy with a little bit of meat, you got a cool, like, bone hammer. I want that, so I'll give you some of my meat, right? So now meat was money. And you look at all these different civilizations all around the world for thousands of years, and people were using chickens for money, or hay, or grain, or sugar, or whatever. So there used to be stuff. Stuff used to be money. And at some point, human beings thought, holy crap, We could just make our own money. We don't need stuff. They're promises. This is a promise from the American government that you can exchange this for goods in America. And the whole world adopted it. This is the world currency. So you could take this anywhere in the world, and they will probably give you stuff for it, right? It has value. But physically, it's just a little piece of fabric, right? It's nothing. It has no real value. Gold and silver always will have value, always. It's always had value throughout all of history. There's no reason to believe it's going to change anytime soon. So back in the day, it was nice when you could actually get some of that back. If you didn't believe in this paper stuff, you could still hold gold. It was harder to use at the stores, but at least you had the option. Now there's no option. And from me to you, I don't think the government, at least the American government, has much gold at all. I don't think they act, they haven't been audited in who knows how long, so we don't really, the general public doesn't really know how much gold our country has. And I think that's kind of a problem, to be honest, because the whole world has been collecting it like crazy. The last decade, they've been hoarding this stuff because they know it's money, but not us, because we're in control and we don't really care right now. But one day we will. So, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. See you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.